Welcome back in Geological Knowledge. In the previous video we have discussed some basics classification of joints, and that was our first video in which we have discussed about the master joints, the mural joints or the columnar joints. Okay, and today we will discuss some other important classification or some other factors about the joints. So let's start our discussion. So this is the second part of the classification of joints. And first question deals with the joints running parallel to hinge line are called as hinge joints, radial joints, bedding joints or the oblique joints. So in the folded regions, sometimes the joint orientation that is conveniently described with the reference to the hinge of the fold. So joints running parallel to the hinge line of fold, they are known as the radial joints. Okay. Second one is in which rock joints may be classified on the basis of the lineation. So these are very important questions that they generally asked in the questions. Okay, and here the given is joints may be classified on the basis of their lineation in which type of rock: sedimentary rocks, metamorphic rocks, igneous rocks, or the igneous and metamorphic rocks. So basically, the in igneous as well as in metamorphic rocks, the joints they may be classified on the basis of their geometrical relationship with the planar structures of those rocks, such as lineation or the cleavages. Okay, we all know that lineation and cleavage, all these are the planar and linear. Lineations or the linear structures, and cleavage, that is also a linear structure. Okay, so the joint plane or the joints, they are classified on the basis of their geometrical relationship in igneous as well as in metamorphic rocks. Okay, next one is joints traverse linear structure at right angles to which type of, means joints which traverse in linear structure at right angles in which type of joints: Q joints, S joints, B joints or the T joints. So these are basically Q joints, and Q joints are also known as the cross joints. So they are the joints that are traversing the linear structures essentially at right angles. So that angle that they must uh, run at right angles, at the right angles. Okay, so that is the condition for cross joints. So option A is the right answer. Fourth one is which are the joints parallel to linear structures: cross joints, longitudinal joints, alternate joints or the Q joints. So these are the longitudinal joints, means the joints parallel to the linear structures. So longitudinal, or they are also known as S joints. So their another name is also important. Okay, as in the previous question we have discussed about Q joints, or they are also known as cross joints, and linear joints, they are also named as S joints. So both the names should be remembered you. So they are the joints which traverse parallel to the linear structure. Okay, that linear structure can be any lineation or any cleavage plane. Okay, and what happens that in each these types of rocks, all the joint systems, they traverse at any other regular indication, at any angular inclination with the linear structure. They are described as diagonal joints. Okay, means that in longitudinal or S joints, the joints they traverse parallel to the linear structure, and in these types of joints or in these types of rocks, the all the joint system they traverse at any other angular inclination with the linear structure. They are known as diagonal joints. Okay, in the first video we have discussed about the diagonal joints, or they are also known as oblique type of joints. So here option B. Longitudinal joints is the right answer. Fifth one is the joints developed due to the tensile forces. Tensile joints, compressive joints, shear joints, or no particular name. So we all know that is the joints which are developed due to the tensile forces, they are known as tensile joints. So tensile joints, they are actually formed, or those which are formed as a result of the tensional forces acting on the rocks. So these joints, they are relatively open and have rough as well as irregular surfaces. Okay, and the columnar joints in lava flows and the longitudinal joints in anticlines that run parallel to the fold, they are the examples of the tensile joints. Okay, columnar joints we have discussed yesterday, columnar joints as well as the longitudinal joints in the anticlines that run essentially parallel to fold axis, they are the best examples of tensile joints. Okay, and tensile joints if we talk about, so they are those as it's written here that they are the joints in which develop due to the tensile forces acting on the rocks. The most common location of such joints in the folded sequence is on the outer margin of the crust and troughs. Okay, so here option A, that is tensile joints, is the right answer. So next question is the type of the joints occurring in igneous rocks during the cooling: shear joints, tensile joints, compression joints, or the bend joints. So they are known as tensile joints. Okay, tensile joints, they are also produced in igneous rocks during their cooling. As we have discussed in the columnar joints, they are formed because of the basalt. Generally they are formed in the basaltic rocks. Okay, and that's the cooling of igneous material or igneous lava. Okay, so tensile joints are also produced in igneous rocks during their cooling. So joints produced in many rocks during the weathering of overlying strata and subsequently release of the stresses by expansion, they are also thought to be the tensile stress, formed due to the tensile forces. Okay, so type of joints which occur in igneous rocks during the cooling process, these are known as tensile joints. Option B is the right answer. Seventh one is which joints are located in axial regions in the folded rocks: tensile joints, compressional joints, shear joints, or the T joints. So these are known as shear joints. So what are shear joints? So shear joints are those types of joints which are formed due to the compressional forces involved in the folding and faulting of the rocks. Okay, they are formed because of the compressional forces, and compressional forces are generally responsible for the formation of folds as well as the folding and faulting both. So these joints are the rather clean cut and tightly closed, and when the shear joints, they occur in two sets which intersects at high angle to form a conjugate joint system. Whenever shear joints, they occur in two sets which intersect at a high angle to form a conjugate system or the conjugate joint system. Okay, so shear joints, they are commonly observed in the vicinity of fault planes as the written here, and shear zones where the relationship with the shearing force is cleanly established. In folded rocks, these are located in the axial regions. So this is very important that they are formed in the axial region of the folds. Okay, so the which type of joints are located in axial regions in the folded rocks? So these are essentially shear joints. Actually, the distinguishes or the differences in these types of questions, that is also very important. If you know the key terms, I have repeatedly saying that I have been uh, telling all of you that the distinguishness means the difference between two or three terms, that is very important, because when the options are given in a particular question. So out of 4 options, 1 or 2 can be straight away cancelled, but the remaining 2 or 3 options, they can be critically framed. Okay, so they may be, they may disturb you, or if you are not confident of your answer, they may disturb you. Okay, so you must know the basics as well as the key terms about the factors. Okay, so here the option is the C, shear joints. Next one is the joints that are caused due to the compressive forces are called as T joints, C joints, longitudinal joints, or the compression joints. So what is given here, the joints that are caused due to the compressive forces. So they are known as compressional joints. So rocks may be compressed to crushing, and numerous joints they may result due to the compressive forces in this case. Okay, so it's very easy question. Here answer, that is D, compression joints. Next one is compression joints usually occur in which part of the fault? This is important. Okay, compression joints are, they usually occur in which part of the fault? Means the crust part, means the upper part, or the mantle, or the core, or the marginal part, or in the margins of the fault. Okay, so here that is in the core. Okay, so in the core regions of the faults, uh, where compressive forces are dominant, joints may be related to the compressive forces. Okay, here is a mistake in the question, that is compressive joints usually occur in which part of fault, not, here should be written as fold, not fault. Okay, so they are formed, joints may be related to the compressive forces. Okay, in folds, not fault. Okay, so here option C, core, is the right answer. And next one is joints are not common and are very easy structures to study in the rocks. So the statement is joints are not common and are very easy structures to study in rocks. The statement is true or false? So the statement is straight away you have to take it out false. Okay, because they are not easy structures. Sometimes they are very complex and very complicated structures to distinguish between a fault, a joint, a cleavage, or a lineation. Okay, so all these things are little bit similar in structure and similar in orientation. Okay, so joints are very common and at the same time very complex structure in rocks, as I have told. Okay, so they can be, the, they may look alike a fault, they may look alike a joint, they may look alike a cleavage or a lineation. So basically you have to determine and distinguish between all these terms: joints, fault, cleavage, or the lineation, because all these are the planar structure and lineation is the linear structure. So the distinguish or the differentiation is very important for these types of questions. So here the joints are not common and are very easy structures to study in rocks, that is straight away false. Okay, so that was our discussion about the different types of classification of the joints. And in the next question, or in the next video, we will discuss about the origin of the joints, origin as well as the orientation of the joints. Okay, thank you.